Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. G'day, how are you all today? And kia ora and tēnā koutou katoa.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Actually, I don't understand what's the meaning.
Okay.
What the meaning?
Well, I'm just trying to speak like, my native language of New Zealand. This is from Maori language actually.
Oh, the meaning for what?
Tēnā koutou katoa means hello everybody.
Oh.
Kia ora means hope you're in good health. Kia ora.
I see.
So if you arrive at New Zealand airport, they'll say kia ora, you just say kia ora too. Okay.
Kia ora too only.
No, you just say kia ora,
Kia ora
as well.
Oh, okay, guys.
So something for you to know. Anyway, so Alhamdulillah, thank you for coming here today. So how are you?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Very good.
Alhamdulillah.
So we're smiling, and actually for some reason we are both wearing long sleeve. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. You didn't tell me to wear long sleeve today, did you?
Yeah, actually, for Monday usually I'm wear long sleeve.
Long sleeve.
Long time ago.
Alright, yeah. Then you don't
in
practice that
school,
anymore.
in school, yeah.
Okay, so then I decide today I'm going to wear long sleeve as well, just to follow him. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so anyway, today we just update a little bit, just as usual. The inflation in Malaysia is still high, but from the report, from the economic report, the age market, if you follow the age market, Tengku Zafrul is saying that the government is actually subsidized quite a lot. If the government did not subsidize, so our inflation rate by simulation from statistics department would have gone up to 11%. So luckily the government has been doing a lot of adding on the subsidy and all that. So they managed to control the inflation, the core inflation I'm talking about, to around 2%, 2 point something percent. But mind you, some of the products still,
Yeah, still
increasing
increasing.
price. So we don't know what the core product is. You can check the CPI index if you like. You just Google CPI index of Malaysia and you can see the basket of goods, which is not really representative of all the items.
Yeah,
for example,
only certain.
Colgate, toothpaste and things like that. It's still.
I think government only subsidize the like chicken or
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah. Palmoil.
Palm
and all
oil,
that. Okay,
flour.
so there are some subsidies going around. There's some subsidies given to certain industries so that the rakyat can cope with their life. Okay, so I'm not sure whether this is a good thing or not, and how long they can sustain this. But having said that, I'm still looking at crude oil. To me, crude oil is very important to me, because crude oil is an indication whether Malaysia is going to go up in price or not. Because crude oil basically they use oil to process a lot of things. So if the price of oil is still high, that means the push factor inflation is going to be there. So in other words, a lot of things going to be depend on fuel, depends on the petroleum products, etc., like clothing. Some of the clothing is being made from petroleum.
Yeah.
So I always monitor crude oil because of that, like especially the Brent crude oil. The price of Brent crude as of today is $112 per barrel.
But the price increasing is not only in Malaysia, all around the world.
Yes, it's all around.
Yeah,
the
because
world.
sometimes a lot of people complain that government not handle this issue like price increasing and oil and the goods also increase.
Yes.
So maybe they don't look at outside Malaysia. So I think outside Malaysia is.
You're talking about who should look outside Malaysia?
I think some people should look outside Malaysia because I think government Malaysia, government Malaysia not doing well, but handle good.
Okay, I don't know. This is his opinion. Okay?
Yeah, this is my
Abu's
opinion.
opinion as a young man. As for me, I think there's plus minus.
Yeah.
Okay, not so bad. I think the Prime Minister is doing things quite interesting. For example, last week, if you notice, I'm not sure the Labu noticed this. They will have the MTUC, Malaysian Trade Union. Okay, they're gonna impose a law. Well, MTUC can have representative in the board of directors of all the companies, so that the MTUC, the trade union, will have some ideas of how the companies run the business. So I think that's something good. We've never done that before, and so some of the decisions by the Prime Minister is pretty impressive. Some of them is actually quite normal, But I think he's kind of in touch with the ground. You know what I mean? Okay, he's actually going down to the ground level and understand the people's problems and so forth. Having said that, though, and I always wish that the election is going to be delayed, because this can disrupt the election itself. Typically, they're going to spend 3 billion ringgit
for
the election,
and for the voting.
And you just imagine if this 3 billion ringgit is actually given to people, to rakyat, it's much better, isn't it? I mean, rather than spending, printing the flags, lousy flags, climbing up the pole, then you have to pay 50 ringgit, to the boys to climb up the pole to hang the flags, etc., etc. So we actually waste a lot of money in election. And if you look at those people who's fighting for election, these are rich people anyway. Okay, so if you look at the MACC website, for example, you know MACC?
Yep, I know.
Okay, they used to declare the assets, and rakyat can actually see the assets of the politicians. But now I don't think you can actually see it nowadays. But you can see those MPs, Member of Parliaments, their assets actually, some of them actually in millions.
Yeah.
So these are the rich people. They don't really care about us, really. So that's why I'm saying, I don't really trust the politicians, and I'm apolitical. Apolitical means that I'm not really supporting any particular political parties. But what I want is a stable country, stable nation, so that when our country is stable, we can attract the foreign direct investors, and with FDIs coming in, they're going to pump in a lot more money, and our currency gets stronger. At the moment, our currency is not strong, and then we have to import a lot of things, a lot of goods. So because of that, we are in double jeopardy, if you ask me. So the outlook is not going to be great for Malaysia, but we are sustaining quite well. I think the Minister of Finance is handling quite well, and together with the Prime Minister, they are doing not too bad a decision. Okay, not too bad decision. But anyway, I'm looking at the economic point of view, based on what other researchers are talking about. Okay, I'm not an expert in economy, so I just read and I'm just sharing with you. Okay, so I'm not saying I'm a master in this, master in that. No, my master is actually in engineering, not economy. Okay, so anyway,
so like the price, can government control, or should the peoples control buying things?
Okay,
some minister they recommend to rakyat, like, you must control your foods you're buying. So can government control?
Well, okay, this the story about controlling the price is actually dependent on the country's democracy. Usually for democratic country, we hold on to capitalism. So in pure capitalism, you cannot control price. You have to make the market decide on the price. But on the other hand, the communist countries, they use a opposite of capitalism, which is more like social. Well, basically it's communist nations. Okay, they control everything. So that's the two extremes, capitalism and communism. Okay, so somewhere in between is social. I can't remember what's the term. Social welfare country, social welfare states like New Zealand, Australia. They are actually somewhere in between. So Malaysia is trying to be towards capitalism, and not much on the social welfare side. Not much. That's why in Malaysian political parties, we used to have only one party, Socialist Malaysia. Okay, Malaysian Socialist Party. But they're not very strong, because in Malaysia the capitalism is too strong. Therefore, the capitalists, the rich people, they don't like price control. If you know that, they don't like price control. So the rakyat is actually having had to succumb to their decisions of the rich people. That is the reason why the rich people usually get projects from the government, and the government is supporting the rich people, and the rich people is actually supporting the government, back and forth, back and forth. So I hope this explanation explains why Malaysia is like what we are. Most of the politicians are supporting capitalism. Okay, tuan-tuan dan puan, just what do you call, answering Labo's question, why can't the government control everything?
Yeah, because a lot of people asking why the government cannot control the price.
Yes.
The control only
the government actually government can and cannot, okay, because there's a pressure from the what do you call it, there's, for example, let's talk about cooking oil. Okay, palm oil. Okay, like palm oil, now you see the government is only subsidizing the packet version of cooking oil, right?
Yep.
So now you see all the other types of cooking oil.
The bottle.
It's not subsidized. That's the reason why it's gone up. You see, they are actually playing with the government as well, and government have to succumb to them. Now the reason is like this is because they're supporting each other. Okay, especially when the election is coming up. When the election is coming up, government needs money, and the money comes from the business people. So I hope you understand these complexities. Okay, it's not that the government don't want to listen to us. Government is also afraid of us because we've got the voting power. Okay, they're also scared. So they have to strike the balance between us and the business people.
The capitalists.
Sorry about that. We are in the New York City. Okay. Sometimes you can hear ambulance. Sometimes we're actually in New York. Okay. Anyway, New York Ipoh.
Alright.
Okay. So anyway, that's a story. Okay, and very interesting regarding the palm oil price. I actually have a look at the palm oil price, CPO. I normally look only what do you call that? Crude oil. But today I'm being forced to look at palm oil. The last time I looked, it was in 2010, I think 2008. Okay, I can't remember within those years. Yes. So what actually happened? When Indonesia is the largest exporter of palm oil. Okay, so they enforced sometime in April, they stopped exporting palm oil
to other countries.
So they don't export anywhere, right? So when that happens, there's a shortage of palm oil in the world. Now, mind you, the major consumers of palm oil is actually India. Okay, India's trying to buy from. So they are now looking at, well, Indonesia is not exporting. So where do we go to? So they look at Malaysia, because Malaysia is actually number 2 in the world for palm oil export. Okay, so Malaysia has been enjoying that because of in April, sometime in April, Joko Widodo banned the export for Indonesia, and the price went up until May. Sometime in May, Widodo back off. Okay, Widodo lifted the export of palm oil. Widodo actually is very interesting, tuan-tuan puan. It's very interesting because I was wondering, if you look at the price of palm oil as of today the palm oil is around 4,500. Yeah, 4,500 something today.
Yeah,
at 1 o'clock just now. I actually
last time I looked around 5,000.
Okay, so that was the point I'm trying to say is there's a price drop, right? So when the price dropped, and what actually happened, Joko Widodo is puzzled. Why is the price of palm oil in Indonesia is increasing? This was sometime in April.
I see.
Okay, so I actually copied this statement from him. Okay, no, not from him. From an article. Widodo is apparently keen to understand this himself, meaning Joko Widodo, the president of Indonesia, not sure what's actually happening. Okay, so one of the biggest problems, he said, is because of some people. Let me just check that again. The probe already found evidence of cartel activity. Okay, in other words, in Indonesia, there are people who fix the price.
I see.
Okay, so they're not interested in they're not interested in selling to the local market, and I'm suspecting something like this because why, tuan-tuan puan? There is a the Malaysian Palm Oil Board give warning. Malaysian Palm Oil Board give warning to the factories of the palm oil. They call it millers. Okay. If you don't buy fresh fruit, we will revoke the license of these millers, pengilang. Okay, so what happened there? It seems like same story in Indonesia is happening in Malaysia. There's a the palm oil right now is going down. The price is going down.
See.
Okay, so
people will stop.
yes, so they stop producing. Actually, there's also a persatuan. I can't remember what it is. The Miller Society. Okay, the Palm Oil Miller Society or Millers Board is also announcing that they complain to the government. You see, this is a story between the businessman and the government. They always complain to the government, and normally they get what they want. But the rakyat is actually very hard to get what we want. So this is something that you have to think about carefully. Who is going to be your prime minister after the election? You know, if you keep getting the same people, then you get the same results.
Yep.
You know, if you vote for, as for me, you know, the way I see it, you vote for Pakatan Harapan, it's Hapra. You vote for BN, it's also Hapra. You know, I don't know. I'm sorry to say that, but I have to be blunt here, because the problem is a lot of rakyat not sure what's going on. I mean, a lot of rakyat not really reading economic issues, As for me, I'm not saying I'm smart, I'm clever. I don't claim myself as masters, but I have to do a lot of reading for our clients' investments, because I'm holding about 300 to 400 people invest with me. Okay, so I have to actually monitor all these things to make sure that the investment is going to be growing all the time. But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand this, and they think it's because changing the government can solve the problem, but it's not really. This is the reason why I reserve my opinion on who should be the prime minister. Really, if you really ask me right now, who should be the prime minister, I really think we should give Hadi Awang a chance to become prime minister. I know. You're laughing at me. You're laughing at me because you think past people are idiots. This is what you think. I mean, I used to think like that too. But in my opinion, I'm sorry, I'm digressing a bit from economy to politics, okay? Because all these are actually interplay. Now, what actually happened, if you want to know, tuan-tuan dan puan, the people who's least corrupt is actually from PAS. I rather give my nation to people like this, even though you think they're not smart, okay? But they are actually very honorable people. I'd rather my country being governed by these honorable people. Honestly, that's what I think. And if you give PAS a chance, you've given Pakatan Harapan a chance, right? You've given BN 60 years of chance. Isn't it time for you to think about why don't we give PAS a chance? And if PAS can actually lead the nation, and PAS will surely, they adhere to their agreements. You can see the principle that Hadi Awang is having is amazing. I'm not pro PAS. In fact, some of the issues, I've always raised issues to PAS, because PAS is not going, going to the ground to tell the rakyat what's happening. And some of the PAS members are, Allahu Akbar, sometimes you feel sad looking at them, But the issue is not because of that. It's the integrity, the principles. To me, I'd rather have economy which is having integrity more than a wasteful economy. What the BN has done, what the PH has done, PH you can just put aside. We need young people. We need people like this, entering politics, and lead the nations. We don't need all these dinosaurs like me. You should kick out people like me. Above 55, they should retire from politics. Really, this is what I think. Otherwise, they keep digging the wealth of the nation that they give to their children. Do you know the story, right? For how many years, for how many decades that you want this to happen? And look at you yourself. I'm talking about for the people who's actually earning 10,000 ringgit and below. Look at how they handle all these things, Even though I respect the Prime Minister, whatever Prime Ministers I used to respect. Now some of the old Prime Ministers I don't respect anymore. I still respect Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, because he managed it quite well, together with PAS, together with Hadi Awang, because they have got a very good relationship, at the time, under, I think, is it MN?
Perkataan Nasional.
PN, Perkataan Nasional. And because of that, they managed to control the nation. But because of the opposition keep hyping up, we missed the opportunity. Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin actually offered to Anwar Ibrahim one thing: 2 terms Prime Minister.
Yep.
He didn't accept that. Do you know if there's only 2 terms Prime Minister, Malaysia is going to be booming? Anwar Ibrahim rejected that opportunity. Rakyat don't understand what the hell that's, I'm sorry for that. Rakyat don't understand that. Otherwise, if Anwar Ibrahim accepted that opportunity, not only he's going to be advisor or something like that to the government, but we, the rakyat, is going to be better with 2 terms prime ministers. Now, it's back to square one. If you've got people who's not very integrity holding on to the nations, what's going to happen to your cucu cicit? If your cucu cicit is the one that's voting for them, it's okay, fine and dandy, but the problem is there are people who are suffering right now, and these are the people at the top who doesn't, who don't care about what's happening to the ground. So this is the thing that I've been, telling my young people here. Again, I'm sorry that I have to bring in all these political issues, but I hope you understand. There are silent majorities out there, right? I would bet around 50 to 60% of silent majorities. I hope you make the right decision of voting whom. Don't vote the people who has stepped on your head. This is my advice. You still miss one more. You still have got one more opportunity. There's one group of people who can handle Malaysia very well. I bet, because they are people with high integrity, people who's got least corrupt in this country. There's no record, there's not many records of their parties actually corrupt. If you can vote for them, the economy can be coming later. Because why? We'll have advisor. For example, if Hadi Awang, become the Prime Minister, Hadi Awang will invite Muhyiddin Yassin, insyaAllah. And Hadi Awang will invite Zafrul, because these are the people who used to work with Muhyiddin Yassin before as a Bersatu under Bersatu.
Perikatan Nasional.
Perikatan Nasional, So anyway, this is just my food for thoughts for the young people. I'm not addressing you rich people out there, I bet 40 years old and above, you're now your well-being is very good already. But the one who's suffering right now is 30 plus. They cannot buy property. If they buy property, Bank Islam charge them exorbitant. Kesian tuan-tuan. This is what I'm saying. I'm very frustrated by the politicians. They don't really care about what's happening to the rakyat. To me, the way I see Haji Hadi Awang, even though I don't really fully supporter of PAS, I think we should give him a chance. This is the way I see it, tuan-tuan. So I think I've got too much talking about politics. I'm supposed to be reporting the economy. But I got digress. Because I got so fed up with these people. Their face is actually showing insincerity. They want this country. They say the rakyat wants a new government, this and that. It's them. It's not the rakyat. The rakyat wants to eat. They change the government, still it's going to be worse for rakyat. 3 billion of ringgit wasted on the voting machineries. What is that? And then you call all the old people going to vote for them. But I'm recommending, because I see the statements they come up from PAS group and all that. I'm talking about the highest leadership. I'm not talking about this ground level PAS. I don't know. I don't care really. But the point is, we should give them a chance. That's my point.
Yeah. And also we should give young people a chance.
Yes. Our nation needs young people, and majority now, I think I think below 40 is more than above 40.
The silent one, the 60%, 50%. I think more
majority is young people.
Because they don't like to voice out their opinions, and if they voice out, some people will avoid not avoid just this one people nothing.
Because the old people, they don't respect the young people. This is my problem.
The old people,
I respect this young man. How many old people respect the young man? I'm not sure about that, right? Because of that, these young people, they fade away. They got fed up with the country. They don't give a damn about what's happening in the country. Poor them actually. And all these big shots, they keep gabussing, gabussing, gabussing.
Gabussing?
Gabui, yeah, gabui. I create English vocabulary. I'm sorry, Tuan Rompan. I'm wearing long sleeve. I'm in different mood. I'm very sorry about my language today. I don't know. He said he wants to speak English today, so I keep talking karat English. So anyway, that's a story for me.
Sometimes the old people should listen to young people.
Of course. Look at our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, always listening to the youth.
I think Malaysia is not used to this culture.
Yeah, maybe
because we are too much respect the old people.
Yeah, that's correct. Respecting, not like you said, it's too much respecting the old people. Does he respect me? I don't need him to respect me.
But sometimes the old people also need to change, to listen.
Yes, I am Labo. I need to change.
Yeah,
I need to change. Basically, we have to listen to them. We have to know these are the people who's actually going to lead the nations in the future.
But also, if the young people to voice out, they must have the confidence what they want, and because they will sometimes move forwards the country.
Right. Yeah. You need confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, confidence.
Actually, it's quite interesting when you talk about confidence. Recently I watched this channel called Ilm Film. Okay, Ilm Film. ILM FILM. Okay.
Film.
And they're talking about Malaysia should pair with Turkey.
Country.
And I've been hearing this many times that Malaysia and Turkey is among the highest education in the world, highest standards of the populations is mostly highly educated.
Knowledgeable.
So, yes, okay. And we should team up with Turkey. Like Malays especially. They are very diplomatic people.
Yes.
They're very good at handling politics. That's the reason why in Malaysia, you have to respect to the Malays, because in a sense, some of you disagree that Malays become leaders, but for 60 years they're smart enough to control Malaysia.
Only Malay.
Even though the minority people, in Malaysia, for example, but there's no such thing as what you call angry towards the Malay, this kind of thing, right? But anyway, that's the reason why I think Ilm Film has been talking about Malays and what do you call it? Malaysians and Turkey should be teaming up, because both are Muslim countries. I think Malaysia is Muslim countries. I think and what's more interesting in Malaysia, our Chinese friends, our Indian friends, our Sikh friends, our Bajau friends, our in Sabahans or Sarawakans, we can actually live together. Basically, the young people are excited to live together. If you look at maybe colleges, universities, all that, we mix freely. It's just that politicians are dividing us. So this is quite sad story, isn't it? So what we need to do is, guys, give the young people a chance.
And then the young
boost
people
must
boost the confidence and voice out their opinions.
That's right.
Because sometimes when we critique or we complain about the government, they're afraid, because when they are complaining, they will.
Yeah, that's the situation in Malaysia, because there's no such thing as freedom of speech, and
they say freedom of speech, but maybe that's the thing that young people.
Yeah, the problem is it's very hard to give total freedom of speech, because if you go to France, in France, they are supposed to be Western nations. There's no freedom of speech, So I think the reason being, there are some people in Malaysia, for example, not mature enough, and start to disrespect others, and from the freedom of speech they start to attack people by slightly over. They can't control themselves. So I think that kind of freedom of speech is not very welcoming, because even in the United States you can't say things against the government. You'll be caught basically. And also in France is quite bad actually. There's no freedom of speech in France. You can't talk anything against the Jews, especially against the Zionists. So there's no such thing as freedom of speech basically. But what we want is a fair comment.
Yeah, because
if you can comment fairly without attacking people, I think this is much better.
Yeah, because if they comment the good things, like they're improving something, like for the construction or the rules, I think it's good.
Yeah, but in Malaysia, for example, when we give a kind of freedom of speech, they start to attack the sultans, they start to attack the agong. To the Malays, agong and sultans, we have to love them, we have to respect them, because they are the leaders of Muslim people. So there's no such thing as you should step. That's the reason why. When we start to give freedom of speech, that's going to happen. So I don't know. I'm not sure whether Malaysia is mature enough to have that kind of freedom of speech. But I encourage debate and all that maturely.
Yeah.
Like I think they've started to do some debate on TV and stuff like that. That's very good actually, and that we encourage the young people to behave maturely. Not to attack, like drawing monkeys, drawing things like that. So these are the things like it's not very good.
I think it's debating for improvement is good.
Yes.
But now maybe people will more people like complain, not giving the solution.
Right, that's right.
They are blaming.
People tend to be angry. When we have freedom of speech, people tend to be angry, and then start to play racial sentiment, start to attack the sultan and all that. I think that's not smart. I think what we need to do is calm down and then start to debate. Like an adults. Like we treat you like adults, you behave like adults, right?
Yeah. I think I agree with.
So. Well, you sure you want to agree with me? You can disagree with me.
Because in terms of improvements,
yes.
I'm okay. But if you are only blaming,
attacking, that's not nice.
It's not nice, because sometimes they are blaming, but they don't have suggestions to improve.
Yes, that's right. That's
the problem. I think we should more on suggestions.
Yes.
Like that.
Okay, so I think is that all for today, Labu?
I think
is there any more questions that you want to
maybe
raise?
we already 30.
Okay. So do you think with what do you call it, we've explained very well about what's happening or not?
I think it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay because they are not the young people not aware about the economies.
Yes. Okay.
They are learning in school.
Yeah.
But they don't apply. They don't understand the current situation, the real situation.
Have you got data to back that up?
No, because I have a friends like learning economy.
I see. Okay.
In school.
Okay.
But they don't know way to works and how to use the
knowledge. I see. Okay. That's interesting.
That's the student that learn about the economy. But how about the young people not learning in school?
Right.
They don't know. They don't know
much about this.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of economy, price, and our currency.
Okay, Labu, I think we should stop here, and thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, and I hope please forgive me if I use very harsh language today. It's because of English. I'm not very good at speaking English, but if I start to speak English, it becomes so emotionally involved. Like you see in this video. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Masalama, Airiera. Goodbye. Selamat tinggal.